Hi, I'm William Tenholder. I've been playing for over 50 years, and I'd love to bring you this special edition, Tricks of the Trade Endgame Checkmate, and we're going to go through it pretty quickly. You'll always be able to pause. Here we go, it's the ready opening, and we're just going to go through the opening pretty quickly here. Here we go. Okay, we end up with a position we all recognize, 4 knights out there. And let's just go through this opening. The usual protection on H3. And the fianchetto for black. And similar to the English opening for white, normally called a Sicilian for black. And so we're going to go through pretty quickly. We see there's a jockeying for position. I, of course, will always target those black squares when they fianchetto on the king side. And so I set up my own system on the white B3. So we go through quickly. We can see there's an attack by my knight. And again, attacking the dark squares where there's a weakness. And so there we go. Attack. And get right in there. And just now it's just a swarm on the king, right? Knight after knight. It's a beautiful swarming attack. And they solidify their position. They feel pretty safe. We're both developed, but there are going to be a few more tricks. And so, I want to get to the main meat of this. But, there are a couple of tricks like that fork on the rook and the bishop. And so they moved the rook. And I moved the pawn to kick out the knight. Queen has to move for position. And then, surprise, the knight takes. That is a bit of a surprise move for anybody watching. It's tricky. So now they come in with the check. Rook takes knight. Rook takes. Queen comes in. And all of a sudden it's just like wizardry. You look around and how did that happen? You just think, it looks like white's ahead. So when you're ahead, right? Take a look at this again. Yes, that was the tricky move right there. White's ahead. Big time. So what does white want to do when they're ahead? Yes, this is one of the tricks of the trade. Check, forcing the exchange of queens. Yes, because if queen does not take, I take the queen. It's a hanging queen right now. So there's one of the tricks of the trade. Queen must take. Now we're looking at a distinct advantage. 2 rooks against a rook and a knight. Okay, here we go. King wants to come out to help. The rooks have total control of the game at this point. And so we look and see, yes, doubling up the rooks is very important. That is the power right there, doubling the rooks. Now getting into position, and the black rook that's on the 7th file, of course, is in a good spot. That's where I'd like to be right now on the 7th file. So have to work towards that. Push that knight out. The knight wants to come in. And I just make sure that it can't do any trickery on the 3 file. At the same time, the rooks are doubled up. Now, let's see how this transpires. How are you going to get a win out of this? There's an incredible move, and let's see what happens here. King attacks. Rook comes out to double. King had to come in over there because otherwise I was going to take the knight, force the knight out. But now we end up with doubled pawns for black, and the knight's in a very difficult spot, I think. Have to watch out that it doesn't fork the rooks. Okay, so now I am ahead in pieces, in pawns, in position. I go ahead and force the exchange. And this is another trick of the trade. If you're ahead and you just start eliminating pieces, as I did in this game, you can see that you come out way ahead. The rook is more powerful than that jumpy little knight. So let's see what the king seeks refuge. And so now there's a beautiful setup here that they're not expecting. Knight comes in for check. King moves to I think a good square, because with check, the king can now move to a better square. The knight has no check. Now watch this. They are thinking to take a pawn. I'm thinking about checkmate. It's all a setup. Now watch. Knight takes pawn. They're thinking, this could work out pretty good. But king moves up. Now notice that the 4 line is protecting. The king is protecting all the squares. The king can actually not go forward at this point. Okay, they move a pawn up. Okay, now the king is forced to move back. Now, this is all a checkmate plan, all calculated. Now it's a simple king. Now all of the, on the 5th rank, all of those squares, the king cannot go there. So now they move a pawn because they're thinking maybe they can win the game on the other side of the board. Well, now the rook is creating a block on the 7th rank, and they are not quite aware of the checkmate plan. It's all part of the plan. So they try to come in to do something with the knight or to promote their pawn. However, folks, that's checkmate. And they did not see that one coming. It's all part of the plan. Hope you enjoyed this end game checkmate and the tricks of the trade that you can win a game with these few tricks that I was able to show you today. Enjoy your chess. Have a good night.